This is a false comparison because we have a uniform worn by a National Socialist who judges people based on their ethnicity and wants massive government control. A Democrat who judges people based on their heritage and is willing to use violence to get what he wants, and an electric car. One of these things is not like the other. Democrats loved Elon Musk and Tesla until the television told them to hate him. The only way that Democrats can get people to agree with them is fear-mongering. Let us assume that Elon Musk and Doge did target the call center's phones. I know that requires a lot of imagination, but let us give those with Musk Derangement Syndrome the benefit of the doubt. He does not have the authority to remove the phones. He never had the authority, and he never will. It is President Trump and/or Congress who has to make that call. No pun intended. Either way, the phones are not being taken away. If the Russia collusion conspiracy were real, President Trump would not be working towards a peace deal with Ukraine. President Trump would just let Putin do whatever he wanted. Either way, these signal messages have nothing to do with the Russians. First of all, it was the journalist who published the messages for everyone. Second of all, he could have just left the chat, deleted the conversation, and alerted the proper authorities. This journalist's TDS made him more interested in breaking a big story than anything else. Even so, I doubt Mr. Rogers would have said the same thing about an unsecure server maintained by Clinton. And furthermore, this leak did not result in the deaths of American soldiers, or terrorists getting billions of dollars in weapons. What we had is a learning opportunity. Let me break Mr. Bowling's gibberish down a bit. Actually, it means that someone got a job based on melanin and not merit. Nice try, though. You do get an A for effort. The Democrats never did see some people as equal, always needing to judge people based on their skin shade. I like to believe my doctor, or whoever it is the most qualified person for the job. However, the problem is that schools are using racial quotas for admission. This skips over qualified candidates and admits students based on skin shade. Likewise, if he did not get in on his merits, or cannot do his job, he should be fired. That way, a more qualified person can get in. Just a straw man here. I also should break down this gibberish. Yes, staying home from school is the end of the world. Just stop killing children and you do not have to go to such extremes for your infanticide. I will hang my hat on the fact that President Trump is a master troll and loves to trigger snowflakes. You mean for violent gang members who broke into America? Science is wonderful, and it shows us that men are not women. If President Trump has anything to say about it, this Democrat policy is not coming back. Democrats did not care about the price of goods during Biden-inflation. Yeah, that is another straw man. Yes, because the president who wants to limit government wants to be a monarch. Mr. Bowling just loves his gibberish. This is just so ludicrous that it is almost not worth any attention. However, Mr. Jones has hit all of the buzzwords, and those need to be discussed. When you are led into a building and given a tour, it is a mostly peaceful protest. Yeah, Democrats still take this out of context and ignore what was actually said. Yes, the same president who wants to limit government wants to become a king. And let us not forget the Russia collusion conspiracy. So many buzzwords, so little time. You mean like all of the Democrats who hid Brandon's mental impairment? If you are willing to hide that about the president, what else are you willing to hide? That being said, this goes both ways. And with both parties. Sorry, no. McCarthyism judged people of a crime without evidence. Trumpism, if we are going to call it that, is arresting people who have openly committed a crime, and then going out of his way to find out what crimes were hidden for decades, saving taxpayers billions in the process. All the while, patriotic Americans stand by him. I have not been to either, but considering some of the things in the Department of Education, it would not surprise me if some of the displays openly promoted DEI, or the 1619 Project. Democrats are just upset that Sheriff Trump is back in town. President Trump has a lot of work to do, including Zelensky, who should be paying us back for all of the equipment. But a man who made a mistake that did not lead to any deaths or loss of equipment need not be blamed. And again, he is trolling the liberals. He did not lock her up or investigate her when he could have, whereas she spread Russia collusion nonsense and kept the investigations going. I severely doubt that President Trump has thought about Tampon Tim even once in the last month. So getting rid of drug commercials that feed on Americans' insecurities, wanting to get dangerous chemicals out of our food, and not blindly trusting drugs from companies that cannot be prosecuted is the same thing as vibes and essential oils. That makes about as much sense as a soup sandwich.